Sup nerds, I'm Tom. We're going to talk about a really good game with a really weird theme, Imaginarium. Now I say that this game has a really weird theme because I'm pretty certain what we're doing is we're building like animal machine hybrids in like this really weird, creepy, steampunky lab. But if you can get past that, there's a lot of stuff to love here. This game is designed by Bruno Cathala, who designs a lot of the games that I really like Cyclades and Yamatai. Obviously, you can definitely see his influence here and how things are similar to other games in that vein, but how this one is different is that this one is mostly an engine building game. And I actually think it's kind of funny how it's only kind of recently that I really realized how engine building games are kind of their own category. Like, I played a lot of games with engine building mechanics in them, but it never really clicked to me that like, oh wow, engine building really is just straight up a category like gizmos. And really you could argue that the Machi Koro, Space Base, Valeria Card Kingdoms, those are all really just engine building games anyways, because all you're doing is getting more and more things that get you points and resources better and faster and more efficient until boom, the game's over. And that's exactly what you're doing here, is you're getting cards that are your machines that you'll be running on your board that get you resources that you'll eventually trade for points. Either just straight up you can trade 5 of these black resources for points, or there's one of the main ways that you actually get points is that there are these gold cards of having, well, you need to have a red and a green card, or you need to have 15 charcoalium, you need to have 2 purple cards, or whatever. All these gold cards, and the first one to complete them will get the points on them. Other players can still complete them, but they will be at a point disadvantage, a 1 point less than what's printed on there. There also are some cards straight up that you can get that will just generate points every round, but those are really rare. And one of the big things that you do is really you only have 4 slots in order to build these cards. And as you build them, you can actually combine these cards together to make them better and more efficient stuff. And also now you have an extra slot, so you can put another card there. But I do think that will probably lead to my first complaint about the game, is that one of the cool things about the game is you're getting cards and you're combining them to make them more efficient. And that combining is both is like confusing and restrictive and really boring in a way. Like, so all the cards say, they all have like a serial number, P5, P2, P1, and they say on the right of them which cards they can combine with. But it's mostly just they will combine with themselves. So like this carpenter here, P2, this one will get you wood. 1 wood every turn if it's just one by itself. But 3 wood every turn if there's 2 of them. And 5 wood every turn if there's 3 of them. And then you can combine it with some converters like T1, T2, and T3. T2 is a converter that will take one of any resource and turn it into an orange or fire, whatever that is. Now these 2 cards can combine, and how they work when they combine is, well, obviously it just makes 1 orange, right? Because this will make a wood and then this will immediately convert it into an orange, so you basically just get 1 orange out of it. But the rules are pretty specific on this, that you can't have 2 blue and a purple, or 2 purple and a blue, because it can't be like, well, this is going to produce 3 wood and then one of those wood is going to get converted to an orange, so it produces 2 wood and an orange. For whatever reason they thought that would be too clunky or broken or doesn't work or whatever, so you either combine 1 blue and 1 purple or 3 blues together, and that's it. Well, also some greens can combine together too, and also yellows can combine together, unless they say they can't. It will take you a while to get that, and it is on your sheet, and after a while, it'll make sense and you'll get it, and you also kind of like understand why. Oh, you can't combine red machines, because really red machines are like one-time use. Once you build them, they just attack other players. And that is probably my second complaint about the game, is that the player interaction part is already kind of there with the worker placement, blocking and going ahead of somebody and deciding where you're going to go on the, because when you go to pick a card, you actually it triggers right to left, right? So you could say, oh, I just want to gain money instead of buy a card, but you're going to go last, and then you're also going to go last in the turn order later. So like the person who picks the most expensive card is going to go first again, but they also have the least amount of money, so they probably need to go all the way to the end, because they spent the most for the card and stuff. So the player interaction is already there, and then they add this sort of take that attacking aspect of the red cards and the green cards that block them. And those are fine, but in most of the games we played, we just kind of ignore them. We just get rid of them or let them burn off the end of the assembly line or whatever, because it's just not really my play style. Most of my game groups, we don't really have that play style, but also it just feels like, I don't know, it just feels semi out of place in a very just straightforward engine building, crunchy Euro, do the math, get the best points sort of game. My last other minor complaint, or I guess really I'll have two more. One more is that these assistants, some of them feel like they're definitely more powerful than others. Now, obviously, I haven't played this game half as much as the designers, so they probably know that they're in the long run, they overall are more balanced. But some of the cards feel like the one where you don't have to pay the extra cost, you just have to pay the cost of the card, seems pretty big deal. Like everybody who gets that, they're all of a sudden they're saving up money and they're being able to be faster and more efficient. And they're being able to, spend their tricholium for points and stuff. So it feels powerful. Might not necessarily be, but it feels that way. And lastly, the theme. Well, again, it doesn't really bother me. I get over it real quick. For most themes in games, I kind of ignore it and just play the games. But some people were having a little bit of like, ooh, okay, this part. And then the part that got everybody was this mouth on the main table here. That does look really creepy. And there's like a machine part like going into the mouth. It just looks kind of funky. But again, other than that, I really enjoy the gameplay. I think once it clicks with you, it's a very fun, fast, relatively tight. It doesn't feel super plentiful and you can just do everything. But you always feel like, all right, I can do this, which is pretty awesome. Okay, all right, I feel like I could do this, which is pretty awesome. It's not like one of those games where I could do everything. What's the thing I'm going to do? There's so many options. And also, of course, the component quality is great. These little busts of weird human heads with gears on them and stuff, those look great. The player boards are really thick and they look great. They even gave you these little, I didn't use them, but these little rubber gel things that you could put on the player board so they don't slide around. You can put them on the bottom. I mean, I didn't feel that was necessary, but it's nice that they included it. They also included this box, which this I do think is really awesome. Look at it. Hang on. It even has I put it over here. This box even has a cover that goes on it. It's very thematic and it looks nice. But now you can just pull this right out of the box and be like, all right, let's play. Put it right there. Boom. Let's go. And even says what goes where. It has little pictures on the side there. Can you see that? I mean, that's just tops for me. So I really had a lot of fun with this game, and I have to say, I think this game is better than Wingspan. Now, maybe that's not saying all that much, because I actually think Wingspan, while it's a good game and I like it, I think it doesn't deserve all the praise it's getting. I think it's overrated and a little bit too hyped, so maybe that doesn't sound like that much to you. I still probably think that Gizmos is my favorite engine building game, because that one, again, is so plentiful and so just everything explodey. You can do all stuff all the time, everything's sunny, every day. But this one's a pretty close second for me. I definitely feel like this is a bit more of a thinky, crunchier, tighter game than Gizmos, but a bit more better in the engine building, and you get a bigger ramp than Wingspan. And if any of what I was talking about in this video sounds interesting to you, I'm going to put a purchase link to Imaginarium in the description box down below. Go ahead and get yourself a copy, and while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you'll never be bored. Now these two can combine, so this machine will immediately make one wood, and this converter will immediately convert that wood into two orange. God damn it.